everyone, welcome back to the Glass and Barrel Wine channel. In case you're wondering where I am, I'm not at home, I'm in Plettenberg Bay on holiday. In this episode, we're going to be doing a little experiment. But first, I have to tell you about biodynamic wine and lunar cycles. You might be thinking what biodynamic wine and lunar cycles has to do with drinking wine, especially the lunar cycles part. Biodynamic wine is made according to biodynamic agricultural principles. Biodynamic farming is also carried out in sync with lunar cycles. There are also people who believe that the lunar cycles have an impact on the way wine tastes. It's based on the assumption that wine is a living thing and so is equally affected by lunar cycles like any other living organism. This is the theory I want to put to the test in our little experiment. According to the biodynamic farming principle, there are 4 lunar phases that affect wine: fruit, root, leaf and flower. And in each of these phases, the wine is meant to taste different. So this is how I'm going to do the experiment. In each of these lunar cycles, I'm going to open up this wine, taste some, and record what I taste. I'm going to repeat this for every cycle, using the same wine and opening a fresh bottle. I'm using a fresh bottle because if I use the same bottle a few days later, I don't know whether the wine tastes different because of the lunar cycle or because it's just been open and been subjected to oxidization. Each lunar phase lasts for 1 to 3 days. Today we're in the fruit phase. Let's open our wine. This wine is quite mild on the nose, but I can taste a slight metallic hint. This is already quite a full-bodied wine, and again that smokiness that I picked up on the nose is coming through on the palate as well. But the main fruit flavours coming through here taste like stewed prunes or maybe some stewed plums or any other kind of dark fruit. Fruit phase is meant to make wines taste fuller-bodied and also to bring out the fruit character of the wine. This experiment isn't 100% scientifically foolproof because after all there's so many other factors that can affect how you taste a wine. But we're going to do this experiment anyway and see what happens. Hi, welcome to day 2 of our lunar cycle wine tasting experiment. Today is the first day of the root cycle, where wines are meant to be more subdued than in any other phase. Compared to yesterday when we were in the fruit phase, I definitely think that the nose is lighter, but I can still pick up on that slight metallic smell that I got yesterday. And then on the palate, while I was picking up on those prune and plum aromas in the fruit phase, those are definitely more subdued, and I find the alcohol stands out more than it did yesterday. I find it slightly lighter bodied and characteristic, and also the acidity seems to be a lot fresher. The interesting thing will be to see if the wine tastes different again when we're in the flower phase of the lunar cycle. We're on the 3rd day of our lunar cycle wine tasting experiment, and today we're in the flower phase. According to the winemaker, the biodynamic wine estate Avondale in Paarl, the flower phase is the best phase in which to taste wine. However, other sources think that the flower phase makes the wine taste more neutral. The first thing I noticed when smelling this wine was that metallic aroma that I picked up on in the fruit and the root phases a few days ago. That has completely vanished, leaving just the fruit aspects, the prunes and the plums. Then on the palate, the wine definitely seems lighter bodied in character than on the first day I tasted it. Harshness from the alcohol that I experienced in the root phase has also disappeared, leaving the wine much smoother and actually a lot more pleasant to drink. Overall, I think the wine has a lot more balance to it. We're now left with only one of the lunar cycles to taste our wine in, and that's the leaf phase. Today, we're in the leaf phase of the lunar tasting cycle. I'm finding this wine a lot more subdued on the palate than it has been on other days. However, on the palate, I'm finding that metallic aspect is coming through, which didn't happen on the other days. And also the fruit aromas are less dominant than they were on the other days. What can we say overall about this experiment? Does it really prove that the lunar cycles do have an effect on the wine? This wine definitely tasted different in all 4 of the days that I tasted it. However, it's hard to say whether that change was down to the moon or simply down to the fact that I was in a different location on each of the days. Overall, I enjoyed the wine most in the flower phase, and my cameraman backs me up on this one. Although different styles of wine might respond differently. For example, a very sweet wine might taste better at a different cycle, and a very earthy wine might taste better in a different cycle altogether as well. If you've enjoyed this video, check out my previous video where I do a wine tasting with a Chenin Blanc. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to keep up with my daily wine adventures, follow me on Twitter. The best way to learn more about wine is to drink more wine. See you next time.